Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the CADRE Animal Health Real Estate channel. We're coming to you from the great city of Austin, Texas. I'm your host, Ron Evans. I'm joined by my friend and colleague, Joe Golden.
Thanks, Ron.
How are you, Joe?
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being here. So this content and all of the educational content that we provide on this channel is brought to you by our family of commercial real estate companies, CADRE Animal Health Real Estate, CADRE Construction, Kudu Realty Partners, Bluefin Design, our architecture firm, and Huffman Builders, our development model brand. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. And if you or somebody that you know would benefit from talking to us directly about one of your projects, we'll provide our contact information below. So, Joe, let's talk about something we run into with virtually every deal we do lately. And that is most of our clients who are looking for a veterinary clinic, let's say an animal hospital of 5,000 square feet.
Yeah.
That's a half an acre to 7/10 of an acre. Pretty rare commercial site. That's small.
It's hard to find.
It's hard to find, right? So walk us through the basic concept of what am I going to do with that excess land? Because there's a saying in real estate, when you talk about land or property, highest and best used, right?
Yeah.
Highest and best use for an acre and a half isn't to put your 5,000 square foot clinic on it and let the rest sit there and be pretty.
Exactly. We like to say that on 1 acre, you can build an approximately 10,000 square foot vet clinic. Okay. That's if it doesn't need a detention pond or totally the 100% useful. If it does need a detention pond, then we're looking probably about 7,500 square feet.
And that's an efficient site. That's a square, doesn't have a bunch of trees, you can't cut down on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a bunch of setbacks that are, say, in the back, you back up to a neighborhood.
Flat land.
Flat.
That's exactly.
Right. Okay, yeah. So I'm the vet and I'm asking you, that's 2 acres and it's $1 million. Well, I don't want to leave all that economic value trapped in land I don't need. What am I going to do with it?
So there's several things we can do, and we do this quite often. Is we end up condoing the land, which is shared space. It's not replatting, which sometimes could be a lengthy process with the city, which you would have the 2 acres replatted, actually sell the new lot, a smaller section of the overall 2 acres. But we can, and we do this quite often, is condo the land, meaning you get the civil engineer to put a footprint down for us. They're the architect of the dirt. They tell us what we can put, the size we can put on the land. And then we can build joined different office complexes on there and sell them individually. And the tenants can own them outright because it's a condo, just like a condo for humans.
That's good. That's a great intro. Let's talk through let's create a fictitious project, right? In Timbuktu. All right. So let's make it a little bigger. Let's make it more interesting. Let's say it's 4 acres and we have a 10,000 square foot veterinarian who's small animal and large animal. You would think that's probably adequate if there was for their facility, dog runs, some space outdoor for the large animal.
Oh, yeah. 4 acres for.
Well, no, 1 acre, 10,000
square. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good size.
So they've now found 4 acres. You've found 4 acres for them.
Yeah.
Because you're an expert in Timbuktu real estate, right?
Yes.
So we found 4 acres for them. They've got 3/4 of their land that is untapped economic value.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying, like we do many times, that we can create a condominium regime horizontally with land, just like you can with a high-rise building.
Yeah.
Or an office building. You can condo land.
Yes.
And what are the benefits of condoing the land as opposed to platting it?
Well, not having to replat it. You can condo and sell those condos off.
And new barriers such as you plat land and they're going to have setbacks
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
all the way around
Yeah.
every one of those 4 lots.
Yeah.
Each one is treated like a legal lot now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So it's got to go back through the planning process of the
Exactly.
city.
That's right. So you avoid time, you avoid cost. And by the way, you add flexibility.
Yeah.
Because you plat land, you're done. I mean, you divide 4 acres into, I don't think you want to,
You're not going to reverse it.
you're not going to reverse it. You set up a condominium regime and you put your veterinary clinic of 10,000 square feet on an acre of it. You might get a buyer comes along and says, I'd like to buy your remaining 3 acres. They make you an offer you can't refuse and you're done.
Exactly.
On the other hand, you get, let's go back to our fictitious project and let's say you're on the first acre. What do you want the second acre to be?
Depending on where it is. I mean, if it's like across from a school or, location, that has a lot to do with it. Maybe if it is across from an elementary school, maybe a dentist,
Okay.
maybe a daycare.
Okay. So let's do a dentist and a daycare. So let's say that a dentist comes along and simply wants to buy an acre from you for his dental practice. All right. And then a daycare operator comes along and she wants you to do a build to suit for an 8,000 square foot daycare on lot 3.
Yeah.
And then let's say lot 4 is a optometrist and they just want to lease.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you've got the flexibility with this this condo regime where you didn't have to decide up front. You're beginning to see these deals come from your marketing efforts, which you do that for the client, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're throwing out a lot. I always equate it to fishing. You're throwing out a lot of hooks with a lot of different bait on them when you're marketing these projects.
Yeah. And we also do that through our Kudu Realty partners.
That's right.
Our real estate company.
Yeah. So you're saying land for sale,
Lease.
medical professional office space for lease, retail space for lease, condos for sale. You're really kind of covering a very broad, it's a shotgun approach and not a rifle approach. Right?
Exactly.
Okay. So that first offer comes in from, what did you say, a dentist?
Yes.
Okay. First offer comes in from a dentist and they just want to buy the land. Well, at that point, our client, the veterinarian, can say, offer I can't refuse, I'm going to sell it. Or, it's just, we can't quite come to a price, so I'm going to pass. Well, the very next offer that comes in on land may not be to sell that piece of land. It may be, build me a boarding facility.
Yeah.
And I'll be your landlord. So now our client, the veterinarian, has the option and the opportunity for passive real estate income.
Yeah. As a landlord, it has some lease income,
Right.
And still has space maybe to do the same thing with the rest of the property.
And we've seen those, by the way, where a complementary practice to the veterinarian wants to go in there.
Oh yeah.
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 So lot 2 is a build to suit. And you said a school.
Yes.
We get a lot of schools in our projects.
We do quite often, and daycares as well. We've done several of those. Again, just for location, but build a suit. You've got a lease space, you're a landlord, and then you've got next door dentist build a suit. There's lots of different options and routes that we can go with that.
And options that our clients are not having to make the decision up front. Let's say we were proposing they become a speculative builder.
Yeah, but also, Ron, that they don't even know about, different options, lease, buy, condo. There's so many ways they go about getting their facility on that piece of property, on that location.
And then maximizing the land that they don't need.
Exactly.
The economic value and opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not having to predetermine if they were, say, a spec builder. This model works very well for us because we're not really spec builders. We're not spec developers, right?
Correct.
Most of our projects, as you know, we significantly pre-sell or pre-lease those projects before we're going to commit to the funds and borrowing our equity and borrowing the money to build these projects. We want to also know that it's not just the mitigating the risk. We also want to know that when we open the project, it's not dead.
Yeah.
You know, nobody likes see-through buildings as their next door neighbor. It just doesn't look alive. So this fits well with our model when we're telling our client, the veterinarian, you're going to cast a wide net into the market, and you're going to then consider these options as they come to you, because you're going to be out there marketing this for them. That's your expertise. You're going to be out there marketing this for them, and they get to pick and choose what they want.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's a situation. It's kind of unusual. There's a veterinarian has identified 2 acres. He's looking at maybe 10,000 square foot mixed facility. It's still larger land than what he actually needs. So I'm kind of knocking on a few doors, cold calling to see if I can find another tenant to maybe go in and joint venture with this veterinarian, not on the clinic, but to have a neighboring dentist office. They could maybe go in on the land together.
And you used the term joint venture kind of loosely. You didn't mean they're in a partnership together.
Exactly.
You mean joint. You mean a participant in this project, but each would have their own interest in the project. Either they're going to take the second half of the land, and whatever's built there for them, they're going to own it.
Exactly.
Or they may not want to own it, and they're going to lease it from the veterinarian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of those come along. In fact, very often we'll get a request from some of the larger human medical operators that we work with and build for. I can think of one in the northern part of Central Texas where my client, a dentist, had a site that was just absolutely perfect. She had all kinds of plans for her dental facility. And we were going to build a building where she was going to take about 2,500 square feet of that building and lease out the rest for income. She got an offer from a very large, well-known medical a clinic in the Austin area who said, we want the whole thing. Well, when she looked at the numbers, she said, I think I'll stay where I am right now. I don't need new dental space all that bad. And we did. We built a facility for them on her land. Now, she didn't end up staying there. She was their landlord. She actually then flipped that to an investor. And instead of getting passive income over time, she took the profit.
Good for her.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it happens. So in that concept, there's a whole lot we can dig into, and we'll talk about that in a few episodes to follow this one. But that concept of knowing how to maximize the value of the land that you may be forced to buy for your ideal site, but may not need, right?
Yeah.
And that is what percentage of our deals would you say fall into that category?
Oh gosh, probably 75%, I would say. That the individual, it's not the exact size property that they need, that we have to go in and think about it, figure it out.
And then I think to add one more benefit that we haven't mentioned, we're also investors. And we've partnered with our veterinary clients on land before and on deals. So they might get a deal that comes along. They've put a lot of money into their startup clinic. They've put money down on their land. They've got this excess piece of real estate. Maybe they would just love to sell it, but they might get a great offer. As I mentioned, this clinic operator that came along. Well, our client may not really have the funds to go borrow the required construction, soft cost to build that. We can partner with them on that, or we could even buy the land from them, and then
they could become the land, or we could be the landlord.
That's right.
Build them something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Ron, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining us today. As mentioned before, please reach out to us for your projects. If you just need information, you want to talk to us specifically about land, budgeting, your site that you might already own, your future clinic, look below for some contact information, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.